All right, fellas, keeping in the NFL topic. So let's get into the AFC West grading draft. So how you guys feel about the Broncos? Bryce, go with it.
Man, well, the Broncos got a nice little haul, man. They got some guys that I like. Start with Jerry Judy. I mean, to me, he was definitely one of the most NFL ready receivers of this draft. You know, when you get any player from Alabama, you're getting the polished product. They believe that Drew Lock is the answer, and if he is the answer, he's going to need weapons. And he got a hell of a weapon in Jerry Judy, man. He could play inside or out. He'll be able to mix it up. KJ Hamler, man, is another guy, man. Speed demon, running from the slot, running from the outside, and I like what he brings to the table. I like what he brings to the table a lot, man. He could bring that dimension they've been missing with Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton, that big guy, that big threat. Got to have a speed guy to go opposite of that. So I like what they did, man. Overall, I say I give him a solid B plus. I give him a solid B plus.
I love,
Nick, how
love,
you feel
love
about it?
this draft. Love, love, love the picks. First of all, Drew Lock, they like Drew Lock. Don't get me wrong, but I also think they have some reservations with Drew Lock, and I think they want to see what they have with Drew Lock. Now with this receiving core, when you got guys like Jerry Judy and you got another speed burner like KJ Hamler, you're gonna add him to Cortland Sutton already and Noah Fant. Yo, it's all in. Drew Lock, what you got? Can you be the franchise quarterback or not? It's up to you. So I think they did a good job with that. They addressed the cornerback position, and they got a center. I'm giving them an A.
Hey, I think I'm right on board with you guys. I love this draft. I think it oozes confidence. Life advice, man. If you're gonna fail, fail forward. I think go boom or bust. These guys, they obviously love their quarterback position. They went and got them two receivers, right? And then if you listen to me, I feel like when you draft a cornerback, you're drafting a guy to get the ball back for your quarterback. They went receiver, receiver, quarterback, cornerback, sorry. I love it. I don't know if Locke is the guy, but they feel like Locke is the guy, so I feel like Locke is the guy. I'm going to give this draft an A. The confidence, the Judy obviously is a technician. Next to Sutton, we should see some fireworks out of this offense. So, hey, Broncos, I like it.
All right, guys. So our next draft grade is going to the Chargers. T, how you feel about it?
This draft, I don't know. I'm not high on Herbert. I'm not high on Justin Herbert, but I think he has some weapons. I think you throw him in there with Eckler, Keenan Allen. I think he's positioned probably the best out of the rookie quarterbacks. I expect him to win a few games. Actually, I expect him to actually look decent. He might even look better than Joe Burrow year one, just because he has weapons around him. The pick of Kenneth Murray, I like a linebacker that can go sideline to sideline. I'm gonna give the Chargers a B. I think they could have went in a different direction later in the draft, but I'm gonna give them a B.
I like the
Nick, how you feel about it?
I like the first round pairing. I think it was a good pairing in two positions that they really needed it. So they needed a quarterback of the future. And if you look at the Chargers defense, there's not many weaknesses, but one thing you can say is about the middle of their defense. Kenneth Murray, certified linebacker. He's a dog. He's going to come in there right away. I think he's going to be a stud. I'm giving him a B plus. Ultimately, I don't know about Herbert's ability to come in right away and play. I like him as a prospect. I think he'll be a stud. Um, B plus.
He'll see that
Bryce?
field.
Yeah, no, I like the draft a lot, man. I like the draft a lot. I got to go A minus for the Chargers. I mean, when you're a team like the Chargers, you're not expecting to pick six a lot. They're not usually up there in those top seven picks. Chargers usually a solid team, so they got to go with the quarterback. And even if they're not sold on them, they got to see if it's worth it. So I like that pick. Kenneth Murray, this is one of my favorite players from this entire draft. So I'm super high on that pick, man. They got to steal with that. He's gonna be a dog, guaranteed. I mean, then they doubled up with two of my favorite receivers in this draft, man. Joe Reed out of UVA, shifty, small guy. KJ Hill might be the best route runner out of this draft out of Ohio State. They produced some nice receivers the last few years. This one gets an A minus from me. Good work in LA.
All right. Now going to Los Angeles. Let's go with Nick. How you feel about the Rams?
Yeah, I'm confused for a second. They lost
Raiders,
Vegas.
Raiders. Oh, good.
Las Vegas.
They lost
Wow.
Vegas though. It's
I'm
all right,
going
man.
back
They
in
Boys,
just
the
moved.
'80s.
They just
Sin
moved.
City Raiders.
The stadium just got built, man. You got
The
about a
Corona got
90-day
me,
window
fellas.
on that. Hey, man, they all messing it up. It's all good. Hey, look, but when we talk about the Raiders, I like the. I think it's a bold move. I think it's a bold move when you got when you go with the number one receiver and you had your pick your receivers and you went with Henry Ruggs. So I think they're going to be looked at that pick's going to be a big pick when they look back at that draft. But I think they understood that despite him being the number one receiver, they must have really valued that speed. But they went and they got tons of other receivers, which I loved. Love some of the picks. Lynn Bowden, I was high on. This dude pretty much did it all for Kentucky. Brian Edwards, I think, is a guy that doesn't have elite speed like Henry Ruggs, but he's a perfect complement to Henry Ruggs because he pretty much runs every other route in the route tree, can get you your short intermediate routes. I think Brian Edwards is going to be a big time sleeper for the Raiders. I think the corner pick in the first round was a little bit of a reach. I think he was more like a second rounder. But I think they got some pretty good players across the board. Give him an A.
All right,
I'm gonna go.
Bryce.
I'm gonna go. Oh,
Oh well, hey, my bad, dog. But let me hop in real quick.
my
Hey,
fault. My fault.
All right, T.
Hey, look, I like what the Raiders did, man. They went out and got speed, and more speed, and that's what the NFL is about right now. Henry Ruggs, we know he's a burner. If you don't know about Lynn Bowden, man, he did everything on the field for Kentucky, man, including playing quarterback, and was actually 6-2 at quarterback. So you know he a dog, man, straight athlete. My favorite player from their hall though is Amik Robertson, cornerback of Louisiana Tech, man. This dude is the next Honey Badger, man, and like I already know that John Gruden's gonna know just a perfect position to put him in that slot. Watch out for that. Remember that name, Amik Robertson. He's gonna be a dog.
I'm
All
not
right,
so
T.
high on
Go
this.
ahead.
Yeah, you see, I'm ready to go. I'm not so high on this draft.
Let's
I'm
see.
gonna give. I'm gonna give it about a C plus. I think Ruggs is probably the third or fourth best receiver here. He's obviously the fastest guy in that draft, but uh, I think I go CD or Judy here. But they went Ruggs. Um, Arnett, I like Arnett. I really do like Arnett. And Bowden, like Bryce said, that guy's a dog. Like he's a football player. I respect taking football players versus a guy that plays just a position. But one thing we've seen here between the Broncos and the Raiders, they're drafting weapons. They're trying to score. They're trying to outscore the Chiefs because you might not be able to stop the Chiefs. We saw the 49ers, elite defensive end, elite corner. And when the Chiefs said, let's turn it on, they turned it on. So guys are thinking, let's outscore them. You see a lot of receivers getting drafted. You see a lot of skill positions. So I'm gonna give it a C plus though, because I see that they're trying, but I don't have faith that I don't have the faith that Bryce has, that John Gruden can really make this class work.
Yeah, I feel you.
All right.
A- for me though. A- for me.
A minus.
Yeah.
All right. So now going with the Chiefs, the Super Bowl champs. Bryce, how do you feel about their draft?
Man, well, Scruff should feel pretty good about this draft, man, because me and Scruff made a nice little piece of change off this one, off that number 32 pick, and that was Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire going to end up being the perfect running back for the Chiefs, man. He can catch the ball out the backfield. He can run the ball between the tackles. You know, he reminds me a lot of like a Brian Westbrook. Think Brian Westbrook or Maurice Jones-Drew in his prime. You know what I mean? One of them versatile guys that's just hard to bring down because they're just so low to the earth already. I definitely like what they did, man. I mean, you really can never question an Andy Reid draft. He always finds guys in those middle rounds. Lucas Niang out of TCU, a developmental tackle that I think could be good down the line. And Willie Gay Jr., Mississippi State, explosive middle linebacker. I like what the Chiefs did. I get the Chiefs a B plus.
Definitely like
All right.
Edwards-Helaire. Definitely like Edwards-Helaire, man. He was a good back out of LSU. Bryce was on point. He told me, he said the Chiefs cannot pass up on Edwards-Helaire in the late first round. Who's going to be the first running back off the board? We took my man Edwards-Helaire. I think he was plus 500 odds. Put like maybe $25 on there. I put another 75 on myself. Came up big time, $500. Thank you for paying on my bills this month, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. That is a draft pick in my opinion, because Money makes the world go round, baby. Thank you, Andy. Nah, but
All
seriously,
right, T. How you?
Edwards Hilaire, beast. Like Bryce said, a couple good players. Lucas Nyang, I think he was a dude that could have went a little earlier. Definitely a dude that slipped. Couple good studs in the late rounds, man. Overall, though, no, seriously though, I still give him like an A- though. Solid draft considering that they picked pretty late and they already got a pretty darn good team.
All right, T. How you feel about the Chiefs?
I thought it was a decent draft. I'm gonna give it a B. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I was just watching more just highlights of this guy. I didn't get to see every LSU game, and my son was with me, and all he said was, "Wow." He said the Chiefs got this guy, and he's 6. You got to trust the wisdom of a kid, right? So I like the
That's
pick.
true.
I like what Andy Reid has done with running backs traditionally, historically. Um, I love it. I think with all those weapons around him, I mean, how can you stack the box? If this kid manages to start, we're looking at another big name. We're looking at jerseys that people will buy. So I'm gonna give the Chiefs a B. I think the rich got richer here.